Welcome class. I'm just going to present the basics of logistics industry. In the new millennium, globalization is integrating more national economies with global economy. World trade is expanding at an exponential rate. The technologies are advancing and becoming an integrating force. Customers are demanding for value for money. Marketers are experiencing the competitive pressure, and the business are struggling not just for growth but even for the survival. So this has forced many of the business organizations the world over to re-evaluate their business process and the way they are delivering the products and services to their customers. So intense competition and proliferation of variety of products and services has resulted in a volatile market. So it has become the necessity for organization to manage the uncertainty. I hope you know the entire world has managed the COVID-19 pandemic scenario. So in order to survive and remain profitable, it is not only manufacturing organization, but the trading companies all over the world are also concerning or concentrating on their core competencies and outsourcing the peripheral process over the past few years. Global buying and sourcing practices have undergone vast changes. This has resulted in international supply chains and innovative logistics management practices that are vastly superior both qualitatively and in terms of the scale of economies. So this is the world scenario. So today the products are sourced from different parts of the world, assembled at different locations and shipped to various destinations to ensure the greater customer satisfaction and squeeze out the unproductive time and the cost from the supply chain cycle. So these trends, the present trends, have resulted in numerous marketing opportunities across the globe through expanding the global supply chains and the logistics along with enhanced competitiveness. So the pursuit of growth and the need to access the new markets have been propelling the companies to all over the world to search for a sustainable competitive advantages. So this has led companies to greater customer consciousness and has created awareness regarding the need for cost effectiveness. The global size of the business has forced the global nature of business has forced the business organization to recognize the crucial role of the back-end operations of the logistics supply chain in today's dynamic business environment. As most of the business firms are focusing on the production, marketing, and finance, the greater attention should be towards achieving the customer satisfaction through our effective and efficient logistics services. So due to the advancement in the information communication technologies, logistics has become an integral part of the e-commerce and the e-business. How in army, like an army on the war front, industry warriors, business warriors on the market front, they are powerless without a proper logistic backup. So the logistics is essential for creating a core competency and is also a tool for developing a competitive advantage in today's customer-driven, market-oriented economy. So this has given you the basic idea of how the logistics playing a crucial role in identifying the competitive position of an organization in a world market or even in Indian market, and how this logistics are acting as a competitive edge over their competitive firms. Let us see the meaning of logistics. The word logistics is derived from the French word loger, which means the art of war pertaining to movement and supply of goods to armies. So that's a real meaning. And there are many schools of thought related to the logistics. It is defined by some researchers as a military concept. Fighting a war requires generally setting an objective and meticulous planning to achieve the objective, proper deployment of the troops, and supply lines consisting of the weapons and the food, water, and essentials. Similarly, the logistics plan should be such that there is a minimum loss of men and the material. As like the fighting in a war or fighting a war in a battlefield, marketing managers also prepare a suitable logistics plan that is capable of fulfilling the company objective of meeting the demand of their targeted customers in a profitable way. So logistics can be put together. There are certain concepts. We are using it as inbound logistics, and some concepts from materials management and physical distribution. We put all the concepts together, we get the study of logistics. So inbound logistics, the meaning here is the movement of materials received from the suppliers. Anything we receive it from the supplier to the manufacturing firm. Materials, the movement of materials and the components inside the organization for manufacturing process. And the physical distribution, which refers to the movement of goods outward from the end of the assembly line to the end user, that is the customer. So all the concept put together, the evolution of logistics has come into picture in the business world. Of course, apart from the three subcomponents, normally the supply chain management, which comprising all the components of starting the material movements from raw materials till it reaches the consumer. The supply chain management is a very larger concept. Logistics is also part of it, and this logistics is also connected with the communication, connected through the communication network. Generally, the logistics is defined based on the Council of Logistics Management. It is a process of planning, implementing, and controlling the efficient, effective flow. What is efficient, effective flow? Flow of what? Flow of goods or services or any related information. Where it goes, it starts from the point of origin to the point of consumption for the purpose of, what is the purpose for which all the goods or the information or the materials, the money is flowing? Purpose of confirming the customer requirement or the customer demand. So put together, logistics management includes the design, administration of the systems to control the flow of material, work in process, and the finished inventory to support the business unit strategy. As I have already pointed out, logistics is a part of our supply chain process. It also contributes the forward and reverse flow of storage of goods, services. It also related information between the point of origin and the point of consumption. All this we are doing it for the purpose of meeting out the customer demand. So what are the basic logistics activities we have? So take a paper, write down the points, whatever comes to your mind related to the logistics activities. Probably you are visiting many retail outlets where you have different products a day. You just choose the product of your choice. You're paying for it and then you're getting it. But before going for this kind of purchasing, what is the entire flow of the process happening? So that put together the various logistics activities. So if for example, if you're going for purchasing a bar soap, so it consists of the manufacturing part is a soap where you have a lot of chemicals, a lot of other materials mixed up with. So each one related with different suppliers, and the wrapper, what you are covered with a specific product. It is from a different industry, a paper industry or a design specific industry. And this entire packing has to reach you from manufacturing to warehousing, from warehousing to retailer, from retailer to shop, individual shops, petty shops and all. And what kind of packaging is required for mass product and what kind of transportation requirements are there. All these put together considered as logistics activities. Let me check what the answers you have written. I hope I will start discussing the different activities. I hope you have written at least few which has come to your mind. Customer service, of course, that's a basic requirement of any service. Demand forecasting, distribution of communication excellence, inventory control, material handling, order processing, the service support and warehouse site selection, procurement, packaging, return goods handling, scrap disposal, traffic and transportation, warehousing and storage. Remember, all these points, all these activities will come to our mind when you picturize what is the logistics all about. Few areas of business involves the complementary or even the span of geography typical of logistics. It is concerned with, so in a nutshell, if I want you to understand what is logistics, with getting the product and service wherever they are needed, whenever they are required. So the entire complete service is provided by logistics management. Why we require logistics? We put it in another way. I'll ask you a question. Do we require logistics services? What is the importance? As we know, the transportation costs have risen rapidly due to the oil prices, rising the oil prices. The production efficiency has scaled new heights. Fundamental changes happening in the inventory using the digital automation-based technology. The proliferating product lines at number of products available on the same different brand names. The use of technology, disruptive technologies, increased use of computers or mobile or different apps, and increase in the public concern about the product. The meaning of everybody, we thought of asking the name of the product, the brand, which one I want. So we know about the various channels of distribution, the economic regulation reduction, increase in the power of retailer, and of course opening the entire business market under the globalization. So these are all various activities put together in a basket called logistics activities. Why we require, so this points gives you an idea. On this base, the logistics activity will make us comfortable in reaching out the desirable customer, meeting out the demands of the desirable customers. And what are the basic operating objectives you must keep it when you are ready for performing a better logistics service to an organization? They are the primary determinants of the logistical performance. So let me just discuss the details one by one. The rapid response. It is concerned with the firm's ability to satisfy the customer service requirement in a timely manner. As we know, the use of our information technology increase the capability of the logistical operations with a less possible time and then accomplishing the rapid, quick delivery of required inventory. Rapid response capability shifts the operational emphasis from an anticipatory posture based on forecasting and inventory stocking to responding to your customer requirements on a shipment-to-shipment basis. Because inventory is typically not moved in a time-based system until the customer requirements are known. Right? The second important primary objective is minimum variance. Know what is the meaning of variance? Variance is an unexpected event that disrupts the performance of the system. You are not predicting what is supposed to happen. The variance may result from any aspect of logistical operations, delays in expected time of customer order receipt, and unexpected disruptions sometimes may happen in manufacturing, or the goods arrived or damaged at the customer location, or the delivery to an incorrect location. These are all some possible things happen. These result in time disruption in operations that must be resolved. So potential reduction of variance relates to both internal as well as the external operations. The traditional solution to accommodate the variance was to establish a safety stock inventory or using a high cost premium transportation. But what are the benefits? What kind of challenges if you go with this, either of or both of this? The practices given an expense and associated risk. So now with the help of information technology, this kind of keeping up safety stock or even locating the point of the location of the customer rightly, all these are all possible with the help of changes happening in the IT to achieve positively whatever the logistics control variances. So to the extent the variances are minimized, the logistical productivity improves, which will end up with result of economical operations also. So the overall logistical performance objective is also includes minimizing the variance. Minimum inventory. The next point would be minimum inventory. The aim of any minimum variance involves assets, commitment, and relative turn velocity. That is the financial value of the inventory, what you are keeping in the inventory system, it deployed throughout the logistics system. So zero inventories, is it possible? They have become increasingly important. as managers seek to reduce the inventory storage. But due to our road conditions, keeping a zero inventory is the biggest question mark. But still, the goal of eliminating all inventory is attractive. Inventory can facilitate some important benefits in a logistical system. So the aim is to reduce and manage the inventory at the lowest possible level. Then the third strategy could be, or objective focus strategy could be, consolidated movement. The most important logistical cost, as we know it is, yes, can you guess it? Yes, transportation. Transportation cost is directly proportional to the type of the product or the size of the shipment what you're using and the distance it carries. So logistical systems that feature premium service depend on the speed. So small shipment transportation. So premium transportation definitely end up with high cost. So to decrease the transportation cost, it is desirable to achieve the movement consolidation. They put all the overall shipment, longer the distance, and lower the cost. So to achieve this, what we require? It requires various innovative programs using operations research, various tools we have to use it, and with the help of IT, different diagrams, tools which will help us to optimize the speed and minimize the cost. Of course, apart from all this, we do have another important objective in our mind to make the entire logistics workable. Quality, specifically improvement in the quality. Because why we keep it as a logistical aim is to seek the continuous improvement in the quality, because ultimately the product is delivered. With that, do you want to say your work is over, the logistics part is over? No. When the consumer customer receives your product, he must have after receiving, after opening, after using the product, he must feel that yes, the product is a perfect quality product. So almost all the TQM, Total Quality Management, has a major commitment in almost all the departments of the industry, and they assume TQM is not a movement, TQM is not one process, or it is not a kind of a training awareness which your company wants to provide. It's a way of life, right? So when quality fails, the logistical performance specifically, the need to be reversed, and then it has to be replaced. Again, you have to repeat the entire purchase once again. So it must perform to the required quality standards. So we are not talking about the quality of the product alone. We are talking about the quality of the service the logistic companies or the professionals which they are serving to the customer. And it is the reworking, returning, replenishment, continuing the replenishment cycle once again definitely may question the customer loyalty. And the last one, the aim of the logistics are life cycle support. Life cycle support is we know that very few products are sold without some guarantee that the product will perform as advertised over a period. Even if you look into the advertisement of premium toothpaste companies, they've just put 99%, it just kills 99% of the germs. What is that 1%? Leave to the choice of the customer whether to choose a product or not. That 1%, you cannot claim that this product will go with 100% quality of something, or 100% what is promised, which their product will do. So generally, the normally value-added inventory flow towards a customer must be reversed. Product recall, which could be another strategy, which will result from increasing the rigid quality standard, product expiration dating, and the responsibility for any hazardous consequences. So what is the benefit of it, or what is the challenge behind this? The return logistics or the reverse logistics. These requirements also result from the increasing number of laws prohibiting disposal and recycling of beverage containers and packaging materials. Even we may be questioned what kind of packaging material, whether at what quality of plastic materials can be used. So all the government regulations has to be followed while using this. So this specific life cycle support capabilities of a logistical system, it must be carefully designed. Reverse logistical competency as a result of worldwide attention. Normally this happens due to the environmental concerns, awareness. We are not supposed to use the plastics. What kind of plastics are usable? What is the government regulations on it? So, and what to do with that packaging material? It requires a capacity to recycle the ingredients and the packaging materials. So these are all the thoughts which I want to share it with you on the points related with logistics. So to conclude, we have started our discussion with what is the definition of logistics. Then why the logistics are important, what are various activities involved in the logistics. Then we started our discussion on what are the operating objectives of logistics, where we discussed about the rapid response, then minimum variance, minimum inventory, movement consolidation, quality, and the life cycle support. Thank you for joining. Welcome to the class. As we know today, the business corporations or even the corporates looking for a sustainable competitive advantage. Why they require a competitive advantage? Not for growth, but for the survival purpose. The killing competition is compelling the corporates to review their business process while delivering products and services to customers who are more demanding and looking for value while delivering the products or even as services to our customers. And they are demanding and looking for the value for the money what they are spending. And now most of the business scenario, the competition shifted from the product to the supply chain. As I've already introduced, supply chain is an organizational concept whose primary objective is proactively manage the two-way movement and coordination of goods and services and information from raw material suppliers to end consumer. So the supply chain link which connects the procurement, manufacturing, and the distribution. So the coordination of material and information movement across a supply chain is possible only through the integrated logistics. I also discussed with you the logistics management is based on the system concept and the cost approach, efficiency and effectiveness in material flow or information flow is possible with the integrated logistics operations only. So either you take any part of component of logistics, either it is a transportation or warehousing or material handling or inventory management or order processing. You can take any one or a combination of all, have a significant impact on customer cost and the operations. And inefficient logistic operation, what it will lead to may force the customer to carry a more inventory. What is the challenge if you're keeping more inventory, resulting in burden on profit margin? The integrated logistics helps to take the cost out of the supply chain and enhance the customer service level. So this logistics is a subcomponent of the macro supply chain movement. So we know the logistics facilitates continuous material movement at reduced cost to make the right product available at the right place and the right time, very importantly at the minimum time. On the macro level, if you look into the country's economy, it depends on the availability of an excellent logistics infrastructure. The speed of the goods movement will greatly depend on the road and the rail network across the length and breadth of the country and the load-bearing capacities of national or even the state highways to carry a heavy cargoes. The air linkages and the post-terminal facilities are equally important for boosting the export trade. And of course, the internet and the communication technologies have made the entire world a global village. So due to the globalization and the emergence of all international trade-related campaigns, buying and selling have become more competitive and have crossed the national boundaries too. So the material movement needs to be speedy, reliable and consistent in the cross-border business exchange process. And of course, it is virtually inconceivable in today's economy for a firm to function without efficient and effective logistics. It is not an exaggeration statement saying that logistics are termed as the backbone of our economy, both at the micro and the macro level. So it has great contribution as a profession, the logistics contributing at the center of the world. And in the Indian context, as we know, due to the same liberalization of our economy, the trade and commerce activities have increased manyfold. Many foreign multinational firms have started trading activities on Indian soil and have outsourced their distribution activities to the logistics professional firms. They also look for the logistics professional firms for certain specific reasons like cost saving, focus on core business, paucity of the funds, reduction in liability, wider geographical coverage, and cross-pollination of better available products. That's adopting the best practices. So the positive side of logistics industry, the issues like abolition of levy, rationalization of customs formalities, the privatization of ports, improvement in the road and the rail infrastructure, the national logistics policy, implementation, the creation of modern warehouse facilities on a scale economy, and creation of cold chain infrastructure already taken as a government initiative through Sagarmala, Bharatmala projects. So this is evident from the emergence of the third-party logistics and the emergence of a lot of startup companies with the use of the information technology. Most of the sectors, specifically the FMCG, the consumer durables, the retail chains, the food processing, pharmaceuticals, electronic goods and automobile industries, these are the major drivers which are contributing the best to the logistics industry. As we know, India is well positioned to emerge as the single largest sourcing hub for a wide range of products in terms of lifestyle, pharmaceuticals, chemical, intermediaries, perishables, machinery and spares, to mention a few. So there are huge opportunities for Indian exporters and the logistics service providers to explore and benefits from their close relationship with the industry. So to conclude, I've started my discussion with the meaning, different activities. We also look into the importance. I've introduced you how logistics is considered as gone through different phases, how customer service is part of the logistics, and what is the various components or the factors which are assisting, helping the industry to move further in connecting itself with as integrated logistic activities with the business, not only in India, in a global trade. And in addition, this logistics, we also discussed about the major operational objectives of logistics. This has made us to understand why the specific course Introduction to Logistics was offered as a special course to make yourself equipped on the logistic professional services firms which are already offering the world-class services. Okay, thank you. Good morning. I'm going to present the logistics industry in India 2022. Let us look into the basic scenario of what is this logistics industry is all about. The industry is the lubricant for the moving wheels of our economy. It adds to the efficiency across the value chain in manufacturing and trade, saving the cost and time of the business transactions. It is making the export competitive, attracting more foreign direct investment, creating job opportunities and avenues, and also accelerating the economic growth. However, India ranks nearly 44th position in the World Bank's 2018 Logistics Performance Index across 160 countries. If you look into the statistics of the road logistics, the Indian road logistics market spending will reach nearly $330 billion by 2025, with a compounded annual growth rate of 7 to 8% as per the recent report published by the Red Sea Management Consulting. India handles nearly 4 billion tons of goods each year. The trucks and other vehicles handle most of the movement of these goods. The railways, the coastal and inland waterways, pipelines and airways account for the rest. So this is the general scenario about the logistics road transport in India. What could be the reasons for the growth of this specific industry? With rising income levels of consumers, higher exports, a rapidly growing our e-commerce sector, and a growing retail sales market, and a projected GDP growth of 7 to 8% in the next 5 years, the demand for goods movement is also expected to increase. So this has made a big possible scenario for the growth of the logistics industry. With a huge demand forecast, it is important to look what to expect from the Indian logistic industry, specifically in the year 2022, because the year that comes after the 2 years of pandemic. A recent report by Avesteem Analytics, Annual Supply Chain Risk Report, it has listed there are 5 crucial threats that will affect the much larger international supply chain in the year 2022. What are the 5 critical threats which are present, specifically which affects the movement of our logistics industry? The increasing scarcity of water across the globe, the ocean freight bottlenecks due to low inventory levels and higher customer demands, workers abandoning the supply chain related jobs in record numbers, the exploring a shift to the just-in-case model as the pandemic exposed the flaws in the just-in-time inventory systems and the related scrutiny systems done by the government, the investors and the customers on various sustainability disclosures, reporting requirements for the entire business. So these are all the 5 critical threat areas which would affect the supply chain movement in the world, which are also directly affecting the logistics industry. When you look into the previous year, in 2021, India's intercity logistics expenditure was around $209 billion, accounting for approximately 87% of overall logistics expenditure. The on-demand market accounted for nearly 63% of the total spending. The contract market accounted for the remaining 37%. When you look into further the details of the statistics, the metro cities accounted for as much as 40%, and the total interlogistics spending around $209 billion. So this has made a lot of reasons for the growth of, specifically the rapid growth of the logistics industry. Let me just point out the major reasons which are directly contributing the growth of logistics industry. Evolved government regulations, the strong expansion aided by the government reforms in the transportation and the logistics sectors are projected to be the primary driver of India's logistics business. GST has transferred the all manual transactions into a digital form, utilizing the e-way bills and fast tags to increase the entire system transparency. Emergence of the new players, that could be another factor. Numerous startups in the logistics sector have aided the growth of the business by introducing the innovative solution to the market. These firms operate across areas like supply chain, from discovery to booking, value-added services, execution with consigners and the truck owners as their target audience. The third major reason could be the technology disruptions. By serving as a significant differentiator, a new age technology has revolutionized the entire logistics sector. The market leaders in this domain will embrace the automation technology to create a smart logistics solutions that really improve the quality and one way of lowering the cost of operations and minimizing the human interference. Another report, a recent report by ICRA, credit rating agency, also estimated that the sector's growth stood at around 14 to 17% in the year 2021-22 over the pre-COVID levels, which has added momentum to continue in this fiscal year as well. When we look into the revenue growth over the medium term, would continue to be driven by the demand from varied sectors. This statistics is all about at the time of COVID and the period which we are living in now. So there are varied segments like our e-commerce, FMCG, retail, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, and the industrial goods, coupled with the industry's paradigm shift towards organized logistic players, the post-GST and the e-way bill implementation. Furthermore, the report is also focusing on the multimodal offerings are also one of the reasons to gain the increased acceptance, and this entire industry is going forward and providing the multimodal services along with the flexibility. So given these factors, the factors what we discussed, and relatively the higher financial flexibility available to the large organized players versus their counterparts, smaller counterparts, there is a specific potential increase, a formalization of procedures which will make the logistics sector moving forward. So this is really a welcoming step in the context of the logistics industry scenario in the year 2022. Specifically, in the last few months, there has been a sustained improvement in freight movement aided by recovery in demand across industries, increased pace of vaccination, and the rapid abatement of the third wave. These are all other external reasons which allowed for the quick lifting of restrictions, which has made the Indian logistics industry thriving in a better move. However, there are other reasons which will make us say it is a challenges for the present logistics industry. The elevated commodity prices and firming the freight rates and the petrol and diesel prices, which also we need to concentrate on. The margin movement also continue to depend on the consumer demand, sentiments, the trend in the diesel and other fuel prices in the competitive intensity within which they create a competition among other logistics players. And along with it, the government has taken a lot of initiatives. We look into the statistics of the Logistics Skill Council. Logistics sector employs about nearly 21.24 million employees from the year 2016. This is a very interesting statistics. Of 21.24 million, 54% are employed in the passenger roadway segment, 35% in road freight, and remaining will be in the passenger railways or freight forwarding, warehousing, packaging, and other services. So this interesting fact which has made us to understand the level of distribution of various sectors, which is part or a sub-component of our present logistics industry. As per the National Sample Survey, the distribution of employees specifically in the logistics sector is mainly in Mumbai, Kolkata, Hyderabad and Ahmedabad districts, and the emerging clusters are also growing up in Bangalore, Surat and Indore. And another notable statistics which is part of the survey reporters, there has been no formal training in the country to address the skill gap in the logistics sector. The thirst on infrastructure projects, specifically the dedicated freight and industrial corridors, expansion of port terminals and construction of greenfield port projects under our present government Sagarmala project and Bharatmala project, which will create a fresh employment opportunities specifically in the logistics sector. Increasing income level and rapid growth in the organized retail, e-commerce, the QSR will create new opportunity for the youth in the logistics sector. And of course, with 100% FDI through automatic route permitted in the specific sector and the quick implementation of GST, the FMCG and the logistics related industry is expected to move ahead in the market. In addition, so these are all the statistics which has given us a clear idea about what the industry growth potential is all about. The government and other associated stakeholders, including the sector, skill council, training institutions, and other logistics firms, they need to ramp up their training capacity to cater to the growing needs of the sector. That's the reason we are also offering this paper called Introduction to Logistics Management to the student learner community to make you employable or set your career in this specific path. What are the government initiatives? So far we have the creation of Kaushal Kendras for every subsector addressing the demand, engage with the logistic companies to invest in skill development as their corporate social responsibility, it is CSR activity, review and update the existing requirement in the specific sector. So these are all some of the initiatives taken by the government sectors, the logistics skill council sectors for making the industry employable. In addition, the recent National Logistics Policy, NLP, which is aimed at streamlining and strengthening India's logistics sector, promoting the seamless movement of goods across the country, and also increase the ease of doing business for players in the sector. As considered to be the backbone of our economy, the true importance of the logistics sector was really proven even more strongly during the nationwide lockdown, specifically the COVID-19 pandemic period. The National Logistics Policy will also address the other issues like standardization, informalization, digitization, and becoming more competitive in the international policy. So many experts have expressed their opinion on it. It is yet to come into practice. The policy will help integrate the local supply chains with international supply chains better. I hope I have presented you the basics of the logistics industry scenario. What are the opportunities? What are the present conditions using our different reports and the statistics? So the final thoughts related to this industry. Today and in the future, India's requirement is for comprehensive end-to-end logistics solution. So this would include a platform for integrated infrastructure and assets, a platform for integrated services, and a platform for integrated digital infrastructure. So the domain is populated by a diverse range of actors from extremely tiny distributors and importers through a medium-sized and the large traders to multinational corporations. As a result, the sector will continue to see the consolidation, the process standardization, the technological advancements, and the digital transformation for increased agility and integration. This happens not only in the modes of transportation, but also between the users in the business traders, the third-party service providers. Customers seek an efficient, cost-effective, customized solution. So this industry will satisfy the requirements of or the demands of the customers from varied ends. So this is what I thought of presenting you the entire scenario of present logistics industry. Thank you.